You are the person who is taking Malayalam cinema to the world. So
Yeah. Sorry, sir. Yeah.
Malayalam cinema is being appreciated, say like 10 times or even more because of the subtitles that you are doing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. How do you find, when you get such, remarks, such feedback?
Really great. Like it was always a dream to take our cinema to much more people. Like when I was studying in college in Chennai, I had friends who were interested in Malayalam cinema, but they couldn't watch our movies because there were no subtitles. Only the DVDs which used to come out much later, like 1 year later or something, they used to have subtitles which were very bad. So those were the only sources of watching Malayalam movies other than film festivals and stuff. So you can't watch. You can watch a Nazi or a different kind of Malayalam film, but you can't watch a regular commercial Malayalam films. The regular audience couldn't watch Malayalam films back then. So when I got this opportunity, I felt it was really great. So I had been trying to approach other people to subtitle older films also when I didn't have much work like in the newer films. So I was trying to get into that, but I couldn't do that. But later on, I started doing all the new releases, so that was very exciting. And all these comments coming in as we are speaking now, we the best film of the national awards has gone to Marekar, which I've subtitled. So I'm waiting for everyone to watch that film.
Congrats for that too. While things are
Thank you,
going well.
thank you, thank you.
And I've seen you wearing many hats: a scriptwriter, a TV anchor, one of the finest interviewer I've
Yeah,
seen, and subtitles. And
thank you,
you are
thank you.
doing everything, brilliant to the first class.
Just I was trying to like balance many things. Like the main aspect of mine is that I want to write films and eventually make films. So the second film which I was writing got delayed, and I had to find a source of income, and I didn't want to move out from films. So I tried to figure out what else could I do by staying in the industry. So subtitling came to me, even anchoring came to me. I didn't go searching for it. So I used to write on Facebook, and I had a blog. I used to write on movies. So people thought that might be good. Even my first stint as an AD came from that. The director saw the blogs that I had written and called me as an AD. So that kind of worked in favor of me. So I got this acting, the anchoring stint through that, and I did that for a couple of years, and then I did a couple of interviews for a channel which closed down very soon. Uh, so those interviews were on YouTube. So when Mr. Bharadwaj then asked me if I knew anyone who could do interviews in Malayalam over here because he couldn't come here. Back then we didn't have Zoom interviews, so uh, he couldn't come down in person and do interviews with Malayalam film personalities. So he asked me if there was someone who could do. I said I can do that, and I sent him some of my links of my earlier interviews. So that was there. So I began doing that also, and yeah, I tried to do as many things and explore as many things as possible. Uh, so yeah,
You're a hardcore movie lover, and
yeah.
so what are the kind of what kind of film you call a good film?
I don't have any particular choice like that. Any film which engages me, which entertains me, is a good film for me. Uh, like I don't differentiate between commercial or like acclaimed films. I'm more on the commercial side. I like my commercial cinema. I like my mass masala films. So right now, as I'm doing a lot of films of different genres and I'm working on so many different kind of films, the movies that I would prefer watching while relaxing would be a comedy or a mass masala film, films with songs and dances and stuff like that. Pure commercial films. Like I'm writing a film like that right now, so that's my mood currently. But yeah, I like all kinds of films, but I do laugh and celebrate a little more rather than being in a dark zone, being stuck in a dark zone. So that is my kind of films right now. It can keep changing. Like I love action. I love superhero films. So all those kinds of films I keep watching. I was just watching the Snyder cut of Justice League. So all those are like my favorites. So yeah,
Talking about subtitles, what was the most exciting comment that you received, maybe from any celebrity or?
there was this Varun Grover, this lyricist and writer who works in Hindi. He's written lyrics for a lot of films, and he's written Masan, I think. He had appreciated the subtitles of Angamali Diaries. Then there was Sridhar Raghavan, the writer of Kaki and Bluff Master, and all the films which I like, which I love. So he had also appreciated the subtitles for Angamari Diaries. Drishyam too, so many people appreciated the subtitles. Like I've been, I'm still getting appreciation for that. Not from celebrities, but mostly normal people. So that is more exciting, because you see people who have never watched Malayalam films, who have never seen a Malayalam film in their lives, watching a Malayalam film and understanding that, and tweeting to you or writing to us and appreciating that work. So that is even more exciting rather than celebrity comments. Celebrity comments are of course very encouraging and stuff, but to know that you have actually created new audience for Malayalam cinema, so that is the best feeling you can get.
Many times I have seen, when there is mostly when it happens with sync sound movies, sometimes we miss the voice there, but then the subtitle helps in such instances. As actually, it is taking, beyond the borders.
Yes, yes. Now I think there is a rule right now on from the IMB ministry to show films on TV channels with subtitles in the original language. That is, if it's a Malayalam film, you have to screen the film with Malayalam subtitles. I think Star Gold and all has already started doing that. We will start that soon in Malayalam too. One channel has already started demanding subtitles. So I've started doing that from Drishyam 2 onwards. Many movies I've done, Priest and some other movies also I've done Malayalam subtitles for Nayat and all that. They will be coming on TV with Malayalam subtitles also. So that will help the deaf and dumb community, those who are short of hearing, to truly understand the movie and enjoy it better, rather than relying on someone else to tell them the story. So, so that is an even more exciting avenue. So you have even more bigger group coming to watch our movie. So we can engage them also. We can make them directly appreciate our film. So that is a great thing to do.
We have to appreciate such a decision, because otherwise those set of people used to get sidelined, and they don't have any entertainment. Yeah, interesting. Talking about that, which was the most challenging script or maybe film that you had to subtitle, if you can recall a few?
There were, I think, 4 or 5 films which were very challenging. One was Kammara Sambhavam was very challenging. It was a period film and it was a spoof film. So I had to maintain two tones for that film. And I sat with the writer Murli Gopi, and he helped me a lot with the subtitles. Same thing happened with Lucifer also. Lucifer also was very challenging. The dialogues were very powerful. It had to have that mass appeal. I sat with Murli Gopi again for that. Angamari Diaries was very challenging. Poomaram, a film which was based on art, culturals and everything in a college campus, that was very challenging. Then Marikyar was definitely very challenging. I'm doing a film called Pujuti right now, which is a very interesting subject, which has Prithviraj, he has produced a film. So I had recently met with him and shown him the subtitles. He had also given his inputs. That was also a very challenging work recently. Drishyam 2 was again very interesting because it was completely driven by dialogue. And I knew that this film has the potential to break into a massive audience. So I had to be very careful with that. And they would have all seen the previous versions of Drishyam in other languages. So this is the Malayalam film which they are seeing, and the dialogues are coming now non-stop. Everything is conveyed through the dialogues, the twists and everything. So I need to make sure that everyone understood those. I had to give the correct pauses. I had to make the sentences shorter so that they can read it properly. Because if a viewer is watching the film for the first time, they may not be experts for watching a movie with subtitles. So once you get used to that, you'll understand how to figure out between the visual and the text. But otherwise, you shouldn't take the attention completely to text. Then you'll miss the visuals of it. So my approach is regularly is that I don't write too many lines, or I don't show off by writing too many fancy words or anything like that. I try to make the sentence as simple as possible, as short as possible, so that within a blink of an eye, you should understand. Even people who don't know English very well should understand. That is my approach, because the film is the visual medium, film is the director's medium. The audio and visual are what makes the film. You can't take your eyes to the text and take the audience's attention away from the visual to the text. That is, if you write automatically, if you write a big word or a word which you don't understand over there, automatically our eye goes there and it gets stuck over there. That will take your attention away from whatever the acting or whatever the director has conceived on the screen. So as I am a filmmaker and a writer myself, I don't want that happening to anyone's film. Even if it's a bad film, it's the director's film. What the director has wanted to show on the screen should be seen. So you shouldn't take the attention away to the text. So I keep it as simple as possible. That is my only goal. So there are many other ways which you can subtitle what I have written. You can make it very fancy and very urban or very like different slangs and all you can give that. But I don't want to take that grab that attention from the audience.
Very true. Maybe at times it may not be the most appropriate, a translation of that word, but that is not what is required, in that.
Yeah, yeah.
And cutting shots, as in, you will be telling the, same thing in maybe 3 or 4 shots, right?
Yeah, the same thing will be spoken about maybe later after 2 lines. The same context may be repeated after. So you can take the liberty of cutting short certain things. Sometimes you can't. Like sometimes the subtitles runs over for like 3-4 shots.
Vivek, you are talking about you being a filmmaker and you have written films. So, at any point, did that influence you, as in while doing the script writing? Say, like some maybe as an editor part also. Maybe you could have thought that okay, this scene could have come, or it would have been better here, or some judgments about the dialogues. Maybe this dialogue is not the most appropriate one. Maybe something else. Such thoughts have been coming to you?
That was a very learning experience because I've been working with all kinds of directors, all kinds of writers. So all this has helped me a lot in my own writing. The whole all these 5-6 years I've been subtitling. I've been writing the same script. So I've been editing the script over and over again, and every time I know that okay, this time mostly it helps with dialogue writing. Like I had written pages of dialogues earlier for my initial drafts, so it helps me in cutting down dialogues to craft my dialogues in a better way. So that is what helped me a lot. So if you I worked for writers from Srinivasan, Ranjit to the latest Sham Pushkaran and all different kinds of writers I've worked with, who are working currently. Almost all the great writers who are working currently, I work for them, except maybe M.T. Vasudevan Nair. So, so it was great working for all these people and translating their lines. And sometimes you get opportunities to translate lines of older films which appear in new films, like Padmarajan's dialogues can come in some films. Like even my first film, Beautiful, the film I subtitled first. So Anup Menon had written a scene which was a tribute to Govanathumbiyal. So those kind of moments and all that. So all these, as a writer, as you keep watching movies, as a writer and filmmaker, I get inspired, and as a dialogue writer, it helps me a lot in crafting my dialogue and editing my dialogues.
I know how difficult it is to, watching the film at least. Talking about that, what stage the film come to you? Is it after re-recording or how is it?
So it comes to me after the dub and the editor's lock. It won't have background score. It won't have sound effects. It won't be color corrected. It won't have graphics. So Marikar and all, the version I have seen, I haven't seen the computer graphics. So I am yet to watch have the complete experience of the film. So yeah, it is a very raw format which you get. Thankfully, it is when it is dubbed, it's okay. But certain films I get without the dub track, so I have to closely listen to the pilot track, location sound, and translate it. So that is even more challenging. Some films have sync sound, which is done quite well, but it might not be treated when it comes to me. The clarity might not be the same which you get in the final product. So you have to work even harder on that. But yeah, this is the state the film comes in. So people call me while I'm doing the subtitling and ask me for my judgments. Of course, people keep asking me how's that film, how's this film, and all that. Even from the crew. So I don't know. I really don't know how I can judge a film like that. I'm watching it on a laptop, and that is not except when it is intended to be watched on a smaller screen. So my judgment, I tell them that my judgment may not be correct. But sometimes I've really liked some movies which haven't worked at all, like both critically and commercially. Sometimes I've hated movies which have done very well commercially and critically also. So so I just do my job, which is that I do complete justice to. So, yeah.
You started with beautiful. So how the subtitling task started with you?
I was doing my screenplay writing course at the Film Institute in Pune. So I was almost about to complete it, and I had a friend. My friend Vinay Govind was working as VKP's associate director, and another friend Prashant Verma was already working with him. So I almost VKP's entire team. My college mates had already gone and done internship with him. So we had common links and people who know, and VKP already knew me, and I was writing on Facebook already. I had my blog and I had continued that. So already I had a network of friends among the film industry, and people already knew me by then. And while I was about to complete the Film Institute course, and I had gone for the International Film Festival of India in Goa, and VKP's film Karma Yogi was being screened over there. So Prashant, my friend Prashant was there, and I formally met VKP over there. And VKP immediately told me, "You can come and work on my next film as an AD." So he had already done Beautiful, which was almost over the shoot. So he had come there for the premiere of Karma Yogi. Indratan was also there. I knew Indratan also. So we met there, and he already gave me a job. Like I was just about to get out of my institute, and I already got a job. So, and the next film was supposed to be written again by Anup Menon and Jayasuriya. Then the next film was a different film. It was called Pushpaga Vimanam. That was supposed to happen. So when that was going on, where we had done a couple of music videos and stuff like that, BKP was doing. So in between that, Beautiful had to be sent for the national awards, the screening. So they had to get it subtitled. So Anup Menon also knew me through my Facebook and stuff. So they knew that I'm a writer. I am pretty okay with English. So they asked me, and Vinay also suggested my name. So they asked me to do this, and okay, I thought, okay, I'll get money and I can work on a film. So I gladly did it, and it was very interesting experience. But the thing was that I didn't know the software, or I didn't know the technicality behind any of it. So I just sat down and wrote the translated dialogues in a Word file and gave it to them. And my other friend Mridul, who was also working with VKP, he had to go and sit in a studio and do the whole syncing and technical process before sending it for the screening. So that was how that happened. And then immediately Anup Menon gave me the next film that was also supposed to be sent for the National Awards that year, David and Goliath. And then VKP's next film, not next film, couple of maybe the next year, he did Natholi Richari Meenalla. So that also had to be sent for them. So these are all films which had certain content which might garner awards and stuff like that. It was not, these were not like regular commercial films. These were commercial films, but had a artistic side to it. It can be considered for national awards. So those were the kinds of films I started doing. So all these films, then again VKP's Nirnayagam I did. In between, I did a film called Mosaila Kudare Meenugal. All these films were subtitled, but they were not shown in theaters, or the subtitles never came out on DVDs or anything. These were all done for screeners and stuff. The first film I did proper subtitles, which came out in theaters, was Kunni Ramayanam. So the producer of that film, Mr. C.V. Sarathi, called me, and we had already had discussions and stuff, and we knew each other. So he knew that I had done subtitles for some movies. So he was trying to find out a new person to do subtitling. So he called me one day, and I was working on VKP's film. I had been writing dialogues for VKP's new film called Rockstar, which was happening in Bangalore. So that was again a translation thing, because the writer Rajshri Balram had written scripts in English. She's a Malayali, but she's not very well versed with writing dialogues and stuff. So he told me to convert the dialogues into English, and so I was part of the film as a dialogue writer. So while that was happening, Sarathi sir called me and asked me to do Kunni Ramayanam. And in the meanwhile, Vinay was also making his second film after Kiligoi. So Kohinoor was also happening. So Kohinoor also has subtitles. So Kunni Ramayanam and Kohinoor were the films which came out with subtitles, my subtitles in theaters for the first time. So that was when initially our films, like when the first part of Drishyam came out, everyone wanted to watch the film with subtitles, but it was not available anywhere, and they had to go with remakes and stuff. Bangalore Days, I think, was the first film which broke new grounds with subtitles, and that was done in Bombay, I guess. So again, all the subtitling work had to be done in Bombay and Chennai and other places, mostly in Bombay and Chennai, and I think a few in Bangalore. So there was no one in Kerala who could do, as in right in Kochi, who could do subtitling. So like those studios shifted from Chennai to Kerala. This was also a part of film which thankfully through me came back to Kerala. And there were some other people who had been working from Kerala, but the quality was very bad. That was done just to release a film in the Gulf markets, because you had to subtitle the film first in English and then it had to be subtitled in Arabic to get a Gulf release. That was why the films releasing in Gulf countries were releasing like a month later or 2 months later or weeks later and stuff. So the entire process had to happen after the film's release. So that was why it was taking such a long time. So when I came in, the gap reduced to 2 weeks, 1 week, and then we had all over simultaneous release all over the world, because subtitling became so popular and became so like I could do it very effectively.
I know many people who are in the limelight today are from VKP school. So some memories you like to cherish?
The biggest part of my life, I got married because of VKP. Because this film I was working on, Rockstar, I was writing dialogues over there, and my wife was the assistant director in the film. So we met over there, and we met in Trent's office, and we fell in love over there. And we, by the end of the film shoot, we decided that we'll get married. So that happened because of that. VKP is very famous for that. Many marriages have happened because of him. Yeah, so that's that. But he's a great guru. He's a great leader. So many of us have gotten all these opportunities because of him. I'm very thankful to him for putting me into this path. He's the one who asked me to do this. So otherwise, I would never have imagined myself doing subtitling. And for just randomly meeting me and asking me to work on this film as an AD, and I worked on Trivandrum Lodge as an AD. So that was such a blast, because the previous film I worked as an AD, it was like the earlier era of Malayalam film cinema, where there was class differences, hierarchies, and a lot of stuff. You can't sit on set, or you should be all very respectful and all that. But VKP set was very chilled out. I could sit right next to VKP, next to the monitor. I could crack jokes with him. I could chill out with Jayasuriya or Anupan. We could do anything. We had the freedom to do that. We had the freedom to give our suggestions. We had the freedom for everything. Like he was like completely. He would take everything, and he made the set a very jolly place to work on. So it was okay. He would shout at us when things don't go well, but that is also forgotten in the next moment when someone cracks a joke or something like that. So that was very exciting. And even Kiliboy was supposed to be directed by VKP initially. So we were working on the pre-production of Trivandrum Lodge. So we came up with the story of Kiliboy overnight. One night we just found an idea and we told it to VKP the next day. VKP is like, okay, I'll direct this film. I'll direct this after Trivandrum Lodge. So we had been talking to different actors, and by the time the project came to materialize, VKP had become busy with Poppins and Natholiya Chariya, and he had signed all those movies. So we had a problem getting a producer initially and all that, because the subject was such. And finally, we had to get two actors. So we were initially planning for two heroes. So we had Asif Ali on board. We needed to have another hero. But then later on, after discussing, we decided that we'll have a Dasan Vijayan equation and cast Aju Varghese instead. So that worked out well in favor of us. So VKP immediately asked Vinay. Vinay is an associate director, so he asked Vinay, "Okay, you go ahead and direct the film. You're also part of the script, so you go ahead and direct the film." So that's how Kiliboy also happened. So he is the reason that film also happened. And so the only two films I've written happened because of him. I mean, the second film I wrote dialogues for. Translated dialogues for. So those two films have happened because of him. And we still keep in touch, and he calls us every now and then, and we talk about films and stuff. Even yesterday he had messaged and we had spoken.
The day I was talking to Kavya on Bonga,
Yeah.
and she was saying how she, I mean, how she was put under Mrudul, so she gets that.
Yeah, yeah. All of us are like, we became a very close group of friends because of that. Like now, my entire close friend circle, all of us have worked under VKP. Like there's Prashant who was senior to us. Then there's Vinay, there's Mridul, and there's Sajiyat, and who's directing Malayan Junior now. He was also an associate director to VKP. So all of us became very close. Even Mahesh Narayanan, the editor, who's also like a mentor to us. So he was also editing almost all of VKP's films. He edited Vinay's debut film, Mridul's debut film. So he's there for us always. So that was a rich, the very valuable asset we got from VKP's school.
I remember about that Kilipoi movie. Was that Bavaka while driving?
Yeah. Yeah, it was written in a certain way, and it was supposed to be a different actor who was supposed to do that role. He couldn't turn up on time, and Bhavaka was there on set, and he's already a hilarious person. He had narrated one of his incidents, similar incidents, so we clubbed both of that and cast him in the scene, and he worked out perfectly. So that is the most remembered scene of the movie, I think.
Heard from you about the script that you're working on. Really keen to know more about that. But what are the plans?
I've finished 2 scripts. One is the one I've been working on for all these years, and another one also I wrote in the meanwhile. Both were supposed to happen, but didn't happen at the right time, and got delayed. And one you will know more soon. Hopefully, we are hoping to make it happen this year. So we'll be talking about it really soon. So I hope that happens because I've worked really hard on it. So for all these years, and I've written some 30, 40 drafts of that script. So that I'm really looking forward to that for that to happen. Another one, also a very interesting subject. I've written a script on that. So that is also taking some time to get the right cast. We have one very exciting combination in that film, and one great actor from the entire country has listened to the script and said okay to that. But I don't know how that will happen. So that itself was a great achievement for us to get that actor on board. That is there, and working on a couple of scripts, and we the three of us, Joseph, Vinay, and me, are also working on the sequel of Kilipoi. We are trying to crack a sequel for Kilipoi. All of them are on board already. Like the producer has asked us to make a sequel. Asif is ready. Aju is ready. We just have to make a good script and get everyone together. So really excited for that. Also, we have been trying to crack an idea for past 2-3 years. We finally have an idea to work on right now. We finally cracked the storyline for the film. So I hope that also happens very soon. So that is that. So yeah, so that is that. But I'll continue doing my subtitling. And this year I've started acting also. I did a short film recently, and it did pretty well, and it's got like some 100,000 views or something. And mostly the comments have been positive. So I hope someone calls me for acting also. Yeah.
Oh, that's there in your plan. Okay.
It's not there in my plan. And this was during the lockdown. So I was like, okay, let me try that out also. So what's wrong in trying that out? And it was relatively easy. Like it's the new style of acting is like very laid back, and you don't have to like perform very dramatic scenes or anything like that. You just have to be how you are in real life. So that was relatively easy. So I got pretty good comments from most people. So yeah, well, there are no plans as such. But if someone calls me, I can try it out. Is what I meant.
Actually, I missed asking about writing subtitles for songs, because songs are, it has a literary meaning and it could have a parallel meaning. So
Yeah.
how do you manage that?
I do appreciate lyrics in Tamil and Hindi. I do appreciate and follow the lyrics. But in Malayalam, I really don't get the essence of the poetry in most of the songs, even if they're very good. So that is one area where I am trying to be better and better. So it is very difficult to convey the meaning of the song and make it look decent. Like what you translate might sound very wrong and very stupid when it's written in English. So I take my mother's help. My mother is a little more poetically inclined, so I give out the lyrics to her and get her to translate the lyrics, and then I work on it and I do a bit of editing on that, and then put it out. So most of it has been done like that. Some of the songs are like conversational songs and like the songs that take the story forward. I can do it myself. It's not much of a problem. But these descriptive songs, and you know how it is in Malayalam, like the lyrics in Malayalam, how it goes. Like it won't be directly related to the situation. It'll be something else, and so those are the songs I find very difficult to do. Like in Tamil, you have people directly talking about their own feelings, like "Nan nesikre ennavale" and all that. So that you can write. Here you will be describing about the sun and the moon and whatnot, and it won't have any direct connection to what they are feeling right now. So it will be a random song. So that is very difficult. Comedy is very difficult to do. Comedy is very, especially our counter and the what we say called counters here, the tit for tat replies, the wordplay here. So that is very difficult to do. So I've tried, kind of managed to crack a few of them and do it well. But again, like it's very difficult to do like extreme what you call PJs and stuff like that, which you can't translate that. So some of the jokes, like you can't get the other person to laugh. Like even right now, a Telugu film called Jati Ratnalu is running to packed house. It's a huge blockbuster. I've asked many of my Telugu friends if I can watch it. It's a brilliant comedy film apparently. So it's actually playing in Kochi with subtitles. But they've all told me like there's no point watching it with subtitles. Even if the subtitles are great, you won't get the jokes. The certain jokes, the essence and the context is very cultural, very rooted. So you might not get the references over there. So I try to get it across the maximum I can, but sometimes you you don't have an option. You just have to translate it plainly.
Anything you would like to communicate to the? I mean, it's a very few audience, but
as today it was the National Award declaration. Like most of these films, the jury is watching through subtitles. There are still so many categories which you don't have an award. Like the award for an action director was introduced only 3 or 4 years back. So I hope people would institute an award for subtitling also, because they are watching movies with subtitling. The people don't understand the movies without subtitles. So there are awards for film writing, film criticism, and all that. And this is a tool which helps people all over the world to watch the movie. So I hope they give out awards for subtitling also.
I vote for that as a movie lover, because it helps a lot. As I told, even Keralites will also enjoy many of the things which are like which goes in the voice in the crowd. Maybe when people are making noise in the theater, we might lose the conversation. So it was wonderful talking to you, Vivek.
Same here.